Kim here, Director of Communications for the Arizona Senate Republicans, and joining me today is Senator Vince Leach of District 11. Today we're talking about border security. There has been a massive issue within the state of Arizona for decades now in securing our borders, and the legislature voted for and approved $564 million this past session. Senate Republicans kind of leading the way on this to secure our border and give law enforcement the tools they need to keep our citizens safe. How did we get to this situation?
Well, it became evident with the change of administrations after the last election that what we had in President Trump building a wall, and pieces of that wall still laying there ready to be constructed. But it was evident that the current administration, Biden-led administration, was not going to do anything on the wall. I think people of Arizona, I know many in the legislature, particularly on the Republican side, said, this is enough. We've got to do something somehow, some way. And through the budget negotiations, which happened before we really get to the budget where we vote on it, we were meeting with the House budget team, the Senate budget team, which I'm on that, as well as the governor's budget team. And we were fortunate in that we had a lot of money that came in because we have a very good economy. And the number that was put out after we did some work on what we could spend where in different items on border security, the number of $564 million came out, and then break that down, and about $365 million would go into the fence. People say, well, how did you come up with $365 million for the fence? Well, we had our staff and Department of Administration look at where we could build without having any fights, supposedly with the feds, and there's about 18 or 19 miles that we could have built on immediately. Where we are now with the trailers going up is a step that moved very, very fast.
So rewinding a little bit, the state of Arizona made a very unconventional move and decided, hey, we're going to close some of the gaps of the wall that President Trump had started that was never completed. And so we're going to use shipping containers. Elaborate a little bit on what's happened over the past few weeks.
That idea came out from Governor Abbott. He was using them in Texas. It's a very novel idea. They're available. The states, we've got people that construct it. It's they're bolted together, then they're welded together with about 4 feet of concertina wire on top. If you've ever been around concertina wire, it is really nasty material.
It's basically razor wire.
It's razor wire. I was around it in the military, and it would tear leather gloves apart when you put out your perimeter, and so. They being the trailers were put in areas where we had high traffic coming across the border and put in place with a contractor that could do that, and things are going well.
So we have 5 gaps now that have been closed off with these shipping containers, and they're roughly they are 8,800 pounds.
8,800 pounds.
They are 22 feet high. They're stacked on top of each other, and these are now put on federal land. Is that correct?
They're on federal land, and so far, to my knowledge, and I haven't checked the news today, to my knowledge, the federal government is letting this happen. We have a senator in this state that's even come out, Senator Kelly, a U.S. senator, that is in favor of it. He sees what we see and what the people on the border see. We had a stop in Nogales this weekend, around 1.5 million fentanyl pills. These pastel color ones that look like candy are coming in. 114 pounds of cocaine coming in. It was buried in a semi-trailer, and I'm assuming, although the article didn't say anything, I'm assuming the dogs found it, and they tore up the floor in the trailer, and there it was. This is coming in not on a one-of basis. This is happening all the time. In fact, the numbers are growing. There was another gentleman that was caught same time about last weekend that had 15,000 fentanyl pills strapped to his leg coming across the border. It's a major, major drug. And it's not only for Arizona. That's where it comes through, and then it just spreads out, poisoning our people all around the country.
We have countless young people, especially, that are dying from fentanyl overdoses. We have reports of human trafficking, human smuggling spilling across our borders from Mexico. And then we have child sex trade that's happening as well from these dangerous criminals that are coming in across our border. Why do you think the Biden administration is ignoring this problem?
Well, there are many reasons. The obvious one that everybody says, he wants voters. He wants to bring them in. It's part of the social economic to give something to people that have very little. But when he put out basically, come here, the border is open. There are many, many articles on that when he first came in, and he's not done anything to stop it. The encounters are up. The people that they do catch, they give them something to come back to court, they're gone. It is interesting. I think it was last night or maybe the night before on the news. Now the New York mayor and the Washington, D.C. mayor are going to Biden asking for help because Arizona and Texas are shipping busloads of illegals to their cities, and they don't have, like Arizona, they don't have the facility or the money.
And they don't have a game plan. We've been living with this for decades, so we've learned how to adapt and combat it to the best of our ability, and they're getting a taste of what Arizona is feeling right now.
Many believe, and I'm of this camp, that we are being attacked, and I think we should respond accordingly and put up whatever we can to deter sex trade, human trade, drugs. The drugs are just, it's unbelievable. That many pills coming across. The year before, I think it was 1.9 million pills all year. One stop. 1.25, I think, that came across. We've got to stop this drug program. And I think it was that that started the legislature in serious. We said, along with the governor, we said, this is a DC problem. This is a DC problem. Well, that's not working. We have to do something. We had the money. We started, we put the money on the table. The pieces of the wall are laying down here, just down I-10 at Eloy. If we can buy it, if they'll sell that to us, not the trailers, but we can put that up and we at least close part of it. And then we'll just keep going and see where the federal government goes. So
far, the gaps that were closed with the shipping containers, that's just $6 million of $564 million that Senate Republicans voted on and approved this legislative session. What do you think we do from here? What are our next steps? How else would we spend that money? Well,
we still have 19 miles. We put in 365 to build the wall. So we still have $299, I guess, left to build that wall on that 17 to 19 miles, and that will then the rest of that money will be used for sheriffs, for training, for movement of prisoners, illegals, if you will, are going in that area. So that's all unfolding right now as we speak. My hat's off to the governor. When I saw that he was putting that barrier up, I thought, man, oh man, that went a whole lot faster than I thought it would. It went a whole lot faster than sometimes government moves. This went fast, and it came right after the Stay in Mexico program went away, and a governor, and I'm sure Governor knows my position on it, as well as many other legislators, and said, go, we've got to close this off. And do you know, when I came to Arizona, the Yuma sector was the safest sector on the Mexican border.
Really? What changed?
It was considered airtight. I don't know. I really don't. I should know that answer. I don't. It was considered airtight. There was virtually no crossings at the Yuma sector. And then it became, but you see the gaps on the wall, they're not that big. You don't need to have very much space for a lot of people to go through. How many people do we see out here as I'm looking out in the courtyard? that came through an area that wasn't very wide. So it's just it's like a funnel coming through.
Well, certainly an unconventional way to secure our border, but it is gaining national attention, and it's time that Arizona take continued action as the federal government just ignores this issue.
You know, Charles Krauthammer, God rest his soul, I really enjoyed listening to. He was, and I got to see him in person one time, but when the fence discussion, the wall discussion always came up, Charles, in his own dry humor way, said, there's a reason that they put up walls. They work.
And with that, Senator Vince Leach from District 11, thanks for this discussion today.
Thank you.